All right, guys, this one is super important, and I want to tell you my top 6 tips as a leader in direct sales. So, most of us get in direct sales not having any direct sales experience. That was me 3 years ago. And I've learned a lot of things in those 3 years. And I really feel like those things that I've learned in those 3 years, all of those things that I failed at and tried to learn and fix and whatnot, I am applying to this business, and it is truly making a huge difference. And so I'm hoping that the 6 nuggets, the 6 tips that I had to give you today are going to help you not make as many mistakes as I did. So tip number 1, actually, before I give you tip number 1, just so you know, if you have one distributor that has joined you, you are a leader. You do not need a team of 100 people to be considered a true leader, or you don't even need a team of 5 or 10 or 20. If you have one person that has said, I trust you, I want to know what you're doing to learn this business, then you're a leader. And so you need to be a leader. And there are some things that I want to share with you that have really helped me learn how to balance. And so number 1 is you do not need to know it all and to be perfect to be a leader. Y'all, I'm a hot mess. I don't know everything. I don't know a lot about makeup, and I'm doing pretty well with this business, right? I don't know everything about our commission and exactly, I know it, but I have to look at it to be able to tell other people. Maybe in a month from now, I will know all those things, and maybe I won't, right? But you don't have to know everything, and you don't have to be perfect to be a leader, because we all have things that we are good at. We all have gifts and talents. God has given us each thing. I've said to you before, mine is not organization skills. That is just not. I am organized chaos over here. But it works for me, right? And so maybe when I have a new team member that asks me, hey, how do you organize your stuff? Gives me a little bit of slight anxiety, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't really have a great system to show someone. But let me tell you how to talk to somebody. Let me tell you how to overcome objections. Let me tell you how to expand your network on social media, right? I can help with those things, and I've done really well with those things. But I'm not perfect in every area, and you don't need to be either. So don't be afraid to be a leader just because you don't know it all and you haven't figured it all out. That's number 1. Number 2 is you have got to set boundaries and expectations. Being a leader does not mean you do everything for your people. Being a leader is helping your people build on their strengths and them do it, right? It is having a duplicatable system that you have created that you can then hand to them and say, here, do this. And then they're going to tweak it and work with it a little bit to make it fit them and mold them. You have to set expectations. So, for example, sometimes what happens is people will sign somebody up and the new person is super excited and they have 1,000 questions. That is almost always a new distributor, right? That was me. But what happens is then that distributor is really excited because they have their first team member and they're asking them questions and they don't want to let them down. They don't want to have to make them worry. And if they are not figuring out one thing as the sponsor, we're like, oh my gosh, I have to answer, or they're gonna give up, or oh my gosh, I have to answer, or they're gonna be frustrated, or they're gonna think that I'm not here for them. Y'all, you have a life, right? I hope you have a life outside of your business. If you're a mom like me, if you're a wife, if you are a student, if you are anything, right? You have a life outside of your business. You cannot be attached to your phone 24/7, and you cannot allow somebody else's emergency to be your emergency. It doesn't work like that. You will stress yourself out so much. So set expectations. So something that I often tell new people is, hey, when you have a question, post it in the team page, because you're going to get hundreds of eyes on it, not just 2. And I also have a team of hundreds of people. And so if I can answer your question in front of everybody else, it's going to answer that question for someone else that has the same question. I guarantee if you have the question, somebody else has the question. Also, you can use the search feature on Facebook, and you can search in the group for any topic, and I'm pretty sure someone's probably already asked the question. So set that expectation. Set the expectation that, hey, I answer messages between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning and at 11 and 12 at night, or whatever your schedule is, right? Set the expectation so that they know if they message you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they're not going to hear back from you. And so really just set the expectations of, some people are going to think you're going to set up their store for them. No, this is your store. So you're going to do this. That is why I've created the checklist so that when somebody signs up, I'm not bogged down with questions because I have given them a template to say, follow this, and then step by step, and then let's set up your launch party. And message me, and then we'll go from there, right? And so that gives them something to do. It's very step by step. And you guys, as leaders, use what I've created, right? If you don't like something, then tweak it, change it, make it your own. But there's no reason to reinvent the wheel if somebody's already created it and it works. Teamwork makes the dream work. If you find something that works better, share it with us. Absolutely, I would love that. But until, I always say, do your best until you know better, and then do better. So do your best. And if your best is taking what I have as your sponsor, what I created, and that's your best right now until you can figure a better way out, then use that, right? So number 2, again, set boundaries and expectations. Your new distributor's emergency is not your emergency. You need to create leaders, not leaners. And when you are at everyone's beck and call and you answer all their questions right away, you set the expectation that you're going to answer their questions right away all the time. And so make sure you set those boundaries up front so that they know that you have other people you're helping, you have a business of your own that you're running, and that, these are the times that you can expect to connect with me. And please, of all things, post it in the team page. That's what I always say. And I can also assure you, if you don't get back to somebody right away, I can't tell you how many times that the next message they send me is, never mind, figured it out. The most successful people in direct sales, really, and probably pretty much any business, are independent people who can be self-sufficient and learn things on their own. They know to go to YouTube. They know to Google it. They know to search in the team page. They know to look in the online office. People who are resourceful are typically the most successful. So just keep that in mind, and really teach your people to be leaders also, not leaners. You don't want them leaning on you all the time. You got enough pressure and enough things on your plate to keep your business moving forward. Number 3, you can show the way, but you can't make your people go the way, right? You cannot force somebody to do XYZ, right? You cannot force somebody to sign up for a vendor show. You cannot force somebody to give great customer service. You can't force somebody to do their own research on the application process and to perfect their application, whatever it is. You can show the way, but you can't make people go the way. And when you have people on your team that are dead weights, if you have genuinely tried to help them and they are just dead weight, you have to learn to love on those people, but bless and release them. You cannot carry the weight of the world on your shoulders for somebody who has joined your team. You can give them resources, and you can encourage them and support them and motivate them and give them ideas, and you can show the way, right? But you can't make them go the way. So don't carry those burdens on your shoulders for the people who are just not getting it. Because truth of the matter is, guys, not everybody is made for direct sales, and that's okay. Not everybody's made to be a doctor. That's okay, right? We don't judge people because they're not all doctors, but we can't judge people because direct sales is just not a business for everybody. So if it's not a business for your person, it's okay. They still got a great discount, right? So that's number 3. Number 4 is you are also learning. So give yourself some grace. Success is a journey, guys. It's not a destination. We don't just one day arrive and we're done, right? It's like your health and fitness, right? It's a journey. You don't just all of a sudden get really fit and then you're done. No, you have to keep working on it. And so as a leader, hopefully you're doing personal development for 10 to 15 minutes every single day, keeping a positive mindset and learning and growing, whether it's social media, business, I don't know, leadership, confidence, whatever it is. And I will give you a book to read about leadership that is a great book, is Leadership. And I think it's Entre Leader is the name of the book. And it is by Dave Ramsey. Entre Leaders. It's all about being an entrepreneur and being a leader at the same time. And it's a great book. Again, it's by Dave Ramsey, Entre Leader. And it is a great book that you should pick up. But you should be investing in yourself on a daily basis, because life is a journey, not a destination. Leadership is a journey, not a destination, because you're always going to be learning and growing and doing new things, right? Success is a journey, not a destination. So you are going to still be learning yourself. So give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace, all right? You're going to make mistakes. You are going to do things wrong. So are your people. That's life, and that's okay. Just be ready and willing to fail forward. And this is my next tip, and that is be honest with your people about your failures and about your mistakes. That is probably one of the things that I think as leaders, right? We want to be perfect and we want to show the exact way to do stuff, right? But I think oftentimes if we can use our messes and turn them into messages, if we can use our trials and turn them into triumphs, if we can do those things and teach our teams, hey, listen, it's not all pretty, peaches and cream and roses and, flowers and rainbows over here and unicorns. It's not all perfect in my world. Just because I might make it look easy to you, and to you, you might think it comes easy to me. I'm over here struggling with customers that also aren't applying it right. I'm also struggling with a customer that is frustrated because it's taken, longer than they wanted for the product to come. I'm also struggling with recruiting more people. I'm also struggling with whatever. But instead of hiding those things that you're struggling with, I would say don't use them as examples until you have a message, right? I never share my mess until I have a message. But once you have a message, once you realize that what you've been doing wrong and you found a better way to do it, hey guys, I was doing this and it just wasn't working and I was really stressed out and I was really struggling. And but then once I started to tweak it and do it a little bit different, it's made a huge difference in my business. So I want to share it with you, turning that mess into a message with people. But give yourself some grace. You're not perfect. You're human. You are going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. And so be honest about those mistakes and help your team to know that you're not on this platform that's unattainable, that is unachievable, right? I think the greatest thing about direct sales is that it's a business that just a regular girl like you and me can do this. We can be super successful if we learn things and do things better and apply the things that we know work, right? And we do research and we do all those things. It takes effort, right? It really does. But a girl just like you and me can totally build a business from zero to incredible by working at it. And we want to show other women that hope and that potential and that possibility. So be honest about your failures and your mistakes and turn your messes into messages once you actually have a message. And my last tip, which is probably the biggest tip, kind of all combined, is learning how to balance and following the 80-20 rule. So if you're at all into health and fitness, you probably know that there's this rule of 80-20, right? In order to maintain a healthy lifestyle, you are going to follow a meal plan 80% of the time, and you are going to enjoy and deviate from it 20% of the time. It's so you have a little bit of balance, right? In the world of business, in the world of direct sales, you really want to focus on your business, which is your customers, your recruiting, your vendor shows, your going into, boutiques and any other place. You want to focus on building your business 80% of the time. And then you want to help your teammates 20% of the time. And that kind of seems like a big gap there, but here is the deal. Your leaders that you're creating, remember, no leaners, leaders, they're going to be resourceful. I want you to ask yourself, did you get to where you are today because you asked me 100 questions? No. I can guarantee you, you started using YouTube, you started Googling, you started asking other people, you looked in your back office, you just took a leap of faith and just thought, I'm going to try it. And if it doesn't work, I'll just try something else, right? You became a leader because you were self-sufficient. And so the 20% of the time, you do want to be doing videos like this, giving your team resources. You want to be in your team page, answering questions, helping give ideas. You want to be hosting trainings and all of those things. Yes, 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 yes. But it shouldn't be 80% of the time. Because once you create those things and you can give those things to people, you have to trust that your person wants this as bad as you do. And that is really hard sometimes in direct sales, because sometimes your people will say they want it, but they really don't want it. They're not willing to actually work for it. And so there's a big difference between working for it and just wishing for it. And you want people who are willing to work for it. So you giving them 20% of your time as a leader is a gift, right? And it's enough. I promise you it's enough. And the further along you get, the more duplicatable systems you can create, the easier it's going to be on you, because you can direct your person directly to that video or that document or that success partner or whatever, and they're going to find success. So I'm going to run through them really quickly again, because I think leadership is absolutely, if you want to get into next level money into direct sales, like next level money, right? In Senegence, we can make phenomenal money in retail. It's incredible. Our comp plan is like crazy mind-blowing that we can get 50% commission from our products, and our products that sell themselves, and they're amazing, right? And so you can make really good money simply from retailing all day long, which I love, because I've worked in other direct sales businesses that you just really can't make that much ever, because it's hard to sell the product, or you're not going to sell that much, right? This one you really can't, which is amazing. But next level money in direct sales is leadership. It is teaching people how to be successful. It is motivating, inspiring, encouraging, and teaching people how to duplicate the success that you have already seen and done and experienced yourself. But you have to know that the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And so your speed is going to determine your team's speed. But you can't force someone to do this. You can't force someone to want to sacrifice a Saturday afternoon like I am right now. And I could be doing something else besides a video. You can't teach someone effort, right? But you can teach them the tools. And so that as a leader is what your job is. And you teaching tools is 20% of the time. So number one, you do not need to be perfect, and you do not need to know everything to be a leader. You are a leader. Be a leader and show the way, right? Number two, set boundaries and expectations. Do not let somebody walk all over you and have these expectations that you are building their business. No, they are building their business. You are just giving them the resources to help them build their business, right? Number three, you can show the way, but you can't make people go the way. So just show them what to do, give them the duplicatable resources, encourage them, motivate them, inspire them, and show them what you're doing. But don't stress about it if they don't do it, right? You can't force someone to actually put in the effort and the work. Number four is you are also learning. Give yourself some grace, right? As a leader, oftentimes I think we feel like we have to be perfect. It's just not going to ever happen. Give yourself some grace. And then that kind of goes into the next one. As you learn and as you do your best until you know better, when you know better, number five is be honest about your failures and your mistakes, and tell your team. Don't make your status so unachievable and unattainable, and to where your own team starts to actually feel like you have this special gift that just they can't have, right? And that your level of success is unattainable, right? That's not the case. But it does take effort. It does take work, right? And then the last one is balance. You have to learn how to balance, or you're going to burn yourself out. So the 80-20 rule, as far as spending 80% of your time on your business, 20% of the time on your team, and also balance really setting, I didn't say this before, but setting business hours. You cannot be attached to your phone 24/7. Your spouse is going to despise you, or your significant other, whatever. Your friends are going to start to despise you because you're going to be like this all the time, or on your computer. I get that there are seasons of businesses, and right now, for me in this season, it is like insanely busy because our business is blowing up, which is exciting. However, you have to have a little bit of balance, right? And so this afternoon, I'm shutting off. I am not going to be working anymore because I need to focus on my family, and I need to focus on my husband, and I need to focus on me, right? And so there are those hours that you need to set and those boundaries that you need to set, even with your family and yourself, so that you have a life outside of your business, all right? Hey, I am ecstatic to be doing this journey with you. I am so honored that you chose me to be your mentor, and I want you to succeed beyond what I have ever achieved. I want you to do even better than me. That to me is success. Being successful by yourself is not a leader. It's not fun. It's actually really depressing because you wonder, like, why aren't other people achieving what I'm achieving? And so I can't thank you enough for trusting me on this journey and for just rocking your businesses and taking this to the next level. I cannot wait to stand on stage with you guys and really just celebrate the amazing, amazing, amazing women that you are. So go out there, be a leader. I love you guys, and have a great day.